Good morning, friends. So I had to wake up at 6 in the morning to get ready for this flight attendant trip, and Chip and the dogs were still sleeping. So I'm going to do a little bit of a voiceover here, but today we are starting a 3-day trip and we are working 3 flights today. So we are going from Dallas to Cozumel, back to Dallas, and then over to McAllen, Texas, where we're going to have a 32-hour layover. So after getting ready, getting dressed, getting my stuff together, we headed over to the airport, and then I took the employee shuttle to get inside, to get signed in and get through security. And today we're actually working with a friend of mine who you guys might recognize, which is Matt. But this morning was super crazy, so let me tell you about it right here. Y'all, I am out of breath. Basically, it was raining and then everybody's going super slow, so it took forever to get to the airport. Then I finally got on the shuttle, but they were doing a shift change, so I had to wait for that. Then once I finally got to the airport and got signed in, I was gonna take the escalator up, or the elevator up, and it was broken. So I had to carry my bags up 3 flights of stairs. But no, that's not all. So I got to crew security, but then I got the random. So then I had to go back through normal security, and now I'm at the gate. But I'm gonna go ahead, put my stuff up, check my equipment, and I will see you guys whenever I get a chance. Okay, we are finally here. Welcome to McAllen, Texas. I'm gonna show you the hotel, and then I would love to change and like wash my face. I ate half a dinner on the plane and I still have a little bit. I might eat just a little bit more before bed, and I'll explain how today went, but also our plan for tomorrow, because Matt and I actually rented a car here, and so we picked that up once we landed at the airport and then came over. But here is the room. I remember this already, that I loved the rooms here at how big they were, and I was just shocked. I think I'm gonna go ahead and just use this as the luggage rack today. Storms today have just, they have made a mess of everything. There were so many delays and cancellations and stuff due to weather, but I wrote down on my phone everything that happened, because Matt and I were talking and I was like, I'm gonna forget everything because it has just been that kind of day. So basically our first flight, we were going from Dallas to Cozumel, and that was fine. The whole flight was good, like nothing to call home about. But then the flight going back over to Dallas took a turn. Not only did they add 40 minutes of flight time, but we ended up being delayed because there was a family of 4. Now, I don't know quite all the details of what exactly happened, but essentially, I guess one of their family members didn't get their passport stamped and they weren't letting them get on the flight, but 3 of them were already on the plane. So I don't know how they lost each other going through everything. I'm not really sure what happened, and I wasn't even the one that like talked to everybody. But essentially one of them got stuck, so the 3 of them wanted to get off of the plane. They let them get off the plane, but there's a rule internationally that your bag can't go without you for safety reasons. So we had to take a delay of them looking for all 4 bags to get off of the plane. And they called us for a little bit and said like they had gotten the first 3, they were just looking for the 4th. And so I think that was like a 40-minute delay. But then when we flew over to Dallas, we did make some of the time back because a lot of the storms were starting to dissipate. We were gonna end up plane swapping, and our plane was coming in from Austin. We saw that the plane had finally left the gate like late, and we were like, okay, it's gonna take off. And all of a sudden we see it like going back to the gate, and we're like, oh no. As we were going through customs, it said that they moved our flight time back up, meaning they got us a new plane. So that was great. But then after we cleared customs, got food and stuff, and then we went to the plane, apparently there was a maintenance issue. So then maintenance had to come on board to check it all out and make sure it was okay. Then finally we got to work our final flight of the day and come over here. But it's just that time of the year in spring where like the seasonal storms start coming, and that just happens. It's just weather. There's nothing you can do about it. But it was like super fun getting to work with Matt and stuff. It's always fun just flying with friends. But Matt and I were talking before this trip, and we were like, it would actually be pretty fun to rent a car and go to South Padre Island because that's only about an hour and a half away from McAllen. We rented it starting at 10 and we have it for 24 hours. So basically until 10 tomorrow night, which I don't think we're gonna like need all that time because we're gonna have an early sign in. So we're definitely gonna be back before then. But what we're thinking is this hotel offers free breakfast. So we're thinking we'll get ready, do breakfast at 9 o'clock. And then after that, just like go head out because that'll also put us there like kind of around lunchtime and stuff. And so we can like be at the beach, maybe get like some tacos because like they have some really good food there. But we were also just talking about like stopping somewhere to get food for the next day because that Mexico turn at the front really kind of like messed things up as far as like packing food because you have to be careful what food you're bringing back through customs. Which is why I didn't really pack anything. It's just easier when you already have your food on you because then you don't have to worry about like what you're gonna eat, where you're gonna get food, when are you gonna have time to eat, that sort of thing. Like kind of how today went, which fortunately because we were delayed, I had enough time to go get a salad. It's just another day in the life of a flight attendant. Good morning, you guys. So right now it's 8:21. I texted Matt, but I don't think he's awake yet. I know that the other three went down to the pool area yesterday, but I was just spent. I was like, no, I can't do it. I'm doing a little bit of skincare right now because since we're going to the beach and I know I'm gonna have sunscreen and stuff on, I don't think I'm gonna do my makeup today. I think I'm just gonna go all natural. But I did get a pimple right smack in the middle. But the skincare that I'm using today is this Hydro Essence. It's like a skin moisture barrier. And then I love this moisturizer. So it's the Hydro Soothing Cream. Both of these are from Korea, but if I find links to them, like at Olive Young or something, I'll put them down below. But also I have my favorite tried and true, my tooth can't speak this morning, my Tula sunscreen, and it has like that beautiful shimmer in it. This is so pretty under my makeup. Now it's only an SPF 30, but what is not is this. It's one of their new products. I think they have this and then one other sunscreen product that I saw. This one is SPF 50 and it's like a little balm stick. I accidentally ran my fingernail through it. That's why it's not as appealing. But it's just like a little stick and you can just kind of do like that. So I'm gonna put a little bit of this on, but also I'm gonna take this with me. Did I put my moisturizer on? Did I? You guys were watching, did I do it? Did I forget my moisturizer? It's too late now. I like how that feels. It's not really heavy, it feels good. But also, I don't know if y'all saw on Instagram, you're not really gonna get the full effect because I have Sanoderm on it, but I got a new tattoo. I started my next sleeve, but it's like has all that plasma and blood and stuff in there. It has like the little bandage wrap around it. So when we're at the beach, I brought like a sweater and stuff so I don't get like sun or anything on it. I'm doing a yokai sleeve. So yokai is kind of like Japanese folklore and they each have a different thing. So this one is called the Kasa Obake, and it's kind of just like a funny little mischievous critter. It's like a little funny tale where basically things after 100 years of being made and being alive end up getting their own spirit. And so like it's like an umbrella spirit and it comes to life and they're just goofy. So that was the first one I did. And then I'll just do some of them and then add like maybe some flowers or something to it. Anyways, I'm actually pretty hungry. So hopefully Matt wakes up soon.
So fortunately for me, Matt woke up pretty quickly and we went downstairs to have some breakfast, but it did not take long at all before we started some chaos and Matt got the waffle stuck in the machine and we were cracking up. But the breakfast actually was pretty good, especially for it being for free. So we enjoyed our breakfast and then finally started hitting the road, but we had to make a stop first because I needed to get some sunscreen and Matt wanted to get a Celsius. And then after that, we drove our hour and a half over to South Padre Island. Now, the last time I was here was actually during spring break one year in college, but Matt's never been here. South Padre is a big spring break place, but I feel like we came at the perfect time because it's right after spring break and right before summer. So we drove around for a little bit, just sightseeing, and then we tried to find public access to get onto the beach and then walk down. And truly, I feel like we could not have asked for better weather. The water was perfect, the weather was perfect. It was a little bit of a high tide though, so we both kind of opted not to swim, plus with my tattoo. But after enjoying the beach for a little bit, we decided to find this place for a brunch that I saw that had really good reviews. So we ended up ordering one drink, which was so good, and then did the chips and queso, and I did some fish tacos with fruit. And then we found another beach that said that it has really good seashell hunting, and you guys, it was so sandy. We were laughing so much just playing Arabian Nights from Aladdin and just cracking up. But it's kind of like a sketchy drive, but also really fun. And then once we got there, we were just looking around for different seashells. And after we picked out some of our favorites, we decided to go to a nearby lighthouse. Now, it did cost money to go inside, so we just took some pictures on the outside, and there was also a cute cafe right across the street. So we went inside there because I was really needing a coffee, and it was really cute inside, and they actually have some ice cream. So Matt ended up doing ice cream, and I enjoyed a nice oat milk latte before finally we decided it was time to start heading back. So we stopped at Chick-fil-A for dinner, and we also went to H-E-B, which I forgot to film, just to get groceries that I'll show you later. And then we drove back to the airport to drop the rental off, and the hotel actually picks up at the airport, so we were lucky enough to get a ride back and just enjoyed the sunset before going back to the rooms.
So this was a crazy day. This was so much fun, but we have been at it for a minute. So right now it is 8:10 and all I want to do is shower. Like, I have just wanted to shower for like the last hours. I just have like sunscreen and sand and everything just sticking to me. My hair has all been in my sunscreen. We did run to H-E-B though before we dropped the rental car off, and we got a bag of chips. Matt still has salsa that he brought. And then we got a thing of guacamole that he has, as well as a queso. So we'll just set that up so the crew can all have some. But also I grabbed, it's kind of leaking, so I'm probably gonna like keep it wrapped in this before I put it back in my cooler bag, but for now I'll put it in the fridge. It is a chicken fajita bowl. Looks like that. Tomorrow we're gonna be working 3 flights. So we're gonna be going from McAllen back to Dallas, and then we have like an hour 20 sit time before we do Dallas to Fort Lauderdale, and then Fort Lauderdale back to Dallas, and we'll be done I think around like 5:25. But it is supposed to be storming all day tomorrow, so we're gonna see what's gonna happen. Hopefully nothing, hopefully everything is just as smooth as can be, but we are expecting some thunderstorms, which can always, you know, it can make things go awry. It can make things get a little silly, so we'll have to be patient with that. But also, our van time is gonna be 6 in the morning, meaning I actually should probably get up at 4:30. Oh, but also one more thing is that our domestic boarding times actually are now starting 5 minutes earlier. So that got implemented today. So we have to keep that in mind from now on, that boarding is going to be 5 minutes earlier than we're used to seeing. So it'll be interesting tomorrow to see if that makes things go smoother, makes things pretty much the same, or how all that may or may not make a difference. There's a few more things that got implemented today, but I think it's mostly for like crew, different things with the new contract, but I don't think it's anything to like really tell you guys. It's more just for us, like for ways to go about doing certain things. But anyways, now let's get in the shower. All right, you guys, so I blew out my hair and then just did some curls, so hopefully that doesn't take me too long tomorrow. Also, this room was at 78 degrees, and if, to be honest, it felt pretty nice, but I was like, maybe I should make it a little bit cooler. Hopefully I don't regret that. But right now it's about to be 10 o'clock, and so I'm gonna start like turning off the lights and like winding down, and I guess I will see you guys bright and early at 4:30.
not home. We are actually at a hotel. I'm gonna go ahead and get my stuff put away and get changed, and then I guess you and I need to chat, and I need to catch you guys up on what happened.